Indian rupee is falling quite aggressively compared to the US dollar. In 1995, it was around 32 33 rupees. In 2008, it was around 44 to 48 rupees. And in 2022, it is around 81 rupees. Now let me show you a very interesting comparison between the Sri Lankan rupees and the US dollar. Something very similar happened, and you can see that from this chart. Right from 2003 onwards, the Sri Lankan rupee was losing steam against the US dollar. It kept on depreciating until the 2022 economic crisis blew out in Sri Lanka. And right now, there is a very significant mismatch between the Sri Lankan rupee and the US dollar. Now let me show you another key data point which has to do with India's forex reserve. Approximately 14 months back, India's forex reserve stood at roughly $600 billion. And from the last 14 months, the number has kept on going lower and lower. Now the natural question arises that are we going to meet Sri Lanka's fate? The short answer is no. Because RBI recently stated that India is left with 10 months of working capital. That means any kind of commodity, petrol, oil or anything that has to be imported to India, we can survive for next 10 months easily without any hassle. So here is a specific problem and why RBI is so worried. First and foremost, the world is very uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen in the Russia-Ukraine crisis. The inflation problem in US is getting very severe. FIIs are withdrawing money from India. And if there is any new uncertainty which pops up in the world, then emerging economies like India is obviously going to take a very big hit. And foreign reserves in India might get depleted very, very soon. And here is the master plan by RBI to deal with this problem. They have come up with something called as the rupee settlement system. What is the primary objective of this system? The primary objective of this rupee settlement system is to stabilize the falling of Indian rupee. And how are they gonna do it exactly? So, economics 101. The price of INR is decided on two bases: the supply of INR and the demand of INR. And wherever these 2 points meet is what determines the price of Indian rupee. And right now the demand of INR is lower than the supply of INR, and that is the reason why INR is falling so aggressively against the US dollar. The RBI's simple plan to fight this problem is to increase the supply of INR. That is by letting other countries trade with India in Indian rupee instead of the US dollar. The fact that many countries have become anti-US right now, especially countries like China and Russia, it is assumed that they will be willing to trade with India in INR. So how are we exactly gonna do this? Basically, there will be a Nastro and a Vastro account opened in both the countries. For example, if India wants to trade with Russia, there will be a Vastro account opened in India on the name of Russia by the Russian banks, and there will be a Nastro account opened in Russia on the name of India by the Indian banks. And these accounts will be used only for the exchange of INR and trade between both the countries. That means both the exporters and the importers of both the countries will be able to trade in INR. The major advantage of this system is that India and other countries will get less dependent on the US. Because unfortunately, the majority of trade in the world happens in the US dollar. And US right now is facing a very high inflation problem and a very bad politics situation. So it is better off for all the countries, especially India, if we decouple from the US dollar. Hence, the strife between the US dollar and the Indian rupee will continue for some more time. But if the rupee settlement system is implemented successfully all over the world by the majority of the countries, then India might be the next game changer. If you watched this video till here and stayed till the last, thank you for watching and see you soon.